Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I am Kareem Clemens. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for following me right here, right now. This is another episode of Democracy 4, Season 3, Episode 1. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, guys, so if you watch my previous episodes and seasons and series, you will know that Democracy 4 is a game that's dealing with the country of your choice, and I picked United States of America. And I can tell you that the parties that I have here are the Democrats and Republican, as we will see in the country, and blue and red. For those who are new, I'm going to go ahead and explain certain things. I have some mods on here that hopefully it will be helpful and not crash. If it does, then I will have to either start a whole episode over again or definitely get some more mods and, get the ones that work. But it truly updates itself. So let's definitely get into the game. All right, so here we have our system here. We have the law and order system. We have the transportation system. We have the foreign policy system. We have the welfare system. We also have the economy system, as well as tax system and public service system. Now, each system has what is called a cabinet member. And these are the cabinet members, and these are the political capital that you can use to adopt some policies, which I will go over those policies. All right. In this series, or should I say first season, throughout the first episodes, I'm going to be using what is called the First 10 Terms Guide of America. And the guide maximize efficiency for the first 10 terms, which when you press this green tab, that'll be a next term. And it's supposed to end a lot of things and avoid negative situations. And also it's supposed to balance the budget. So I can tell you I started where we can look here, income, expenditure, the default deficit, which we definitely have deficit and a debt. We don't have a surplus. We will want to eventually turn this into a surplus and definitely get out of debt. So the income, we're going to look at the income. So right now in this country and throughout the season, I'll be showing you guys, what we're dealing with as far as getting money, receiving money, and helping the citizens. Now, income tax, we're getting income tax, payroll tax, corporate tax, government borrowing, sales tax, car tax, property tax, capital gains tax, tobacco tax, petrol tax, inheritance tax, alcohol tax, speeding cameras tax, citizenship for sale tax, airline tax, and state parcel service. This is the income that we're receiving when it comes to trying to spend for services for our country. Now, I'll show you guys how much this is bringing in. However, it says the efficiency with which taxes are raised 95%, and it'll tell you corruption, and it'll tell you the average minister efficiency, which I'll get into that when I finish showing you the chart. Now, the expenditure is what we're spending money on for the great citizens of this country. Now, I can tell you that I have some mods in here again, and these mods may make or break the game throughout the season. Now, what I mean by that, what you mean by that, Kareem? Well, if you follow me on my last season, then you will know that I've had some problems where some of the mods was like outdated and the game had updated, and for their next, 1 point something something, I guess, version, the mod does not work with that version. So the game becomes disabled and you can't play it. So everything that you've done, you have to do it all over again. All right. So right here, this episode might just be explaining certain things because there's tons and tons of information that you will be able to look through, change, divert. My predecessor added some executive policies, which I will have to either see if it works for the citizens or we have to get rid of it. We're definitely out throughout the terms, throughout the season and episode. We have to increase the terms, because if you don't increase the terms, they will definitely retire your ass and you will be sent off, and there's no more game. You have to just redo it over again. It's all about adjusting certain things, because again, it's almost like a waste stool, and the what you see here, the spending here, will have to weigh with the income. Now, I always said this: you will always want to bring in more than what you're spending, and in this case, we are spending more than we are bringing in. Okay, so in this case, our spendistry here is dealing with the military, state schools, state pensions, child benefits, debt interest, health tax credits, road building, unemployment benefits, space program, state health service, nuclear weapons, food stamps, intelligence service, alcohol abuse. Then we have on this side disability benefits, school care, armed police, technology, colleges, science funding, state housing, horticultural subsidized, foreign aid, private prisons, CCTV cameras, subsidized school buses, free school meals, police force, and others. And then if you go to the chart, you will see this chart will tell us about our credit rating, our income, our debt, our interest rate, our expenditure, our debt versus the GDP, and the deficit. Okay, and then once when we start adding, implementing, and changing policies, then this chart here will start to stagnate, and then we'll start to see our policies down here that we put into play. I think at some point when we do the first 10-term guide for America, it's going to change some of these things. And I do know, because I did play it before, that when it comes to military, we're going to be taking some money out of the military. Okay? And I know that at some point, and I think I've seen this in another somebody else's video, I think what the key is to get rid of all this and go off of borrowing. That's what I seen in a video that somebody had played where they had spent hundreds of hours playing, and I think they had went off of borrowing. There was like no taxes. There was nothing. There was nothing. It was all borrowing. I think it was all borrowing. Okay? So I think at some point we're going to be looking at the citizens. We're going to be seeing what they need, what they're getting, what they don't want, what they do want, the do's and the don'ts. Some things we have to add, some things we take away. Yes, this is democracy for. All right, so hopefully in this series we can adopt the first 10 terms for America that they have here, and hopefully it's efficient and it's gonna work. Now, ask yourself this question, Kareem. Didn't you do this before? I did. Did it work? Some laws was changing and some things just didn't add up because they were Who was pissed off at you? The people. The people was pissed off at me. These people right here. When you come to the disposable income and you look at versus the poor and the wealthy, I'm talking about these people. Like when you come here, I'm talking about Paul Hernandez. I'm talking about Thomas Colin. Okay? I'm talking about Danielle Peterson. This is who I'm talking about, because if you look at some of these charts here, you will see right here on Amy that her disposable income is 55,000, over 55,000. And then when you look at the green is what she's receiving, the red is what she's paying. Okay, she's paying, but majority of certain, and what I realize, and I'm learning too also as we do this series, new things about this game as well. Okay, so the red is what they are paying out, but if you notice, some of these groups are in, like they have a membership, and in the membership comes, maybe they may pay the membership, and then so for example, they have what is called the poor membership, like poor 100% membership, and in here you will get free school meals, minimum wage, unemployment benefits, child benefits, food stamps, legal aid, state housing. And they will have to pay food for the full price, private health care, private schools, income tax, sales tax, private housing, and wages. This is just under the membership for the poor. Now, help me understand this. And I'm going to show you guys this too. Okay? We got all the time to explain this. All right, so if we show, we're going to look at this person. And it gives you a little bit more ideal information on this person, Amy Martinez. She's slightly supportive. She doesn't belong to any party, no organization. She doesn't have, voting probability 15%, meaning that that's the percentage of how much she's going to really consider going out and voting for either Democrat or Republican. The activist is 21%. Loyalty is 19%. And I can tell you that if you, now I'm learning this too, because if you see the influence and the opinion, I think anything red, as we know, is bad, and anything green is going to be good at some point. But in a way, it's like, hey, I do know that, let me see. The environmentalist, the poor. Okay, that would be her. The commuter. Maybe she's a commuter and a farmer as well. I don't know. Maybe she stands in all these groups, but I just know that there's so many of them. And if you click, you will see that it will change. Like, she's slightly happy, Rachel. But then when you come here, Lauren is like mildly unhappy with me. And why she's unhappy with me is because I'm thinking, let me see. Okay, I'm not going to spend too much time on this because there's tons and tons of information that I want. But again, this is what I say when I say I'm learning too. I'm learning this just as well. Okay, so I'm going to have to just go and read more about this whole focus group and how this all works, because I do see that there's more red than it is green. So I see why she's mildly unhappy, and I think at some point we will want to convince her into turning this into, like, giving her things and doing things for her that's going to help her group. And I think she's in for everyone. I'm not really sure. Let me see. She's funding, ministers, and honeymoon. We're going to not spend time on as much as this, but whatever, everything is going to bring back to this focus group. We're going to come back to this focus group, voter types. All this is going to change because we have not started anything yet. This is fresh that I have not pressed the tab. I don't think I'm going to press the tab in this episode because I want to get as much as information that I can in this first episode, okay? So then we can go ahead as we going through the episodes in the season, we will see where we upped up at and where we accomplished things at, right? Okay. So this is the voters type. This is going to change. We looked at the disposable income, which is the original income, and then it changes to disposable, right? Okay, and it just tells you right here the spectrum of disposable income, both before the effects of the government policies and after. So I'm thinking this is before, and I'm thinking this is after. Okay, from the poor to the wealthy. Then this is the voter intention. So this will tell you who's going to come out. It'll tell you my average approval. Likely some of this might change. Some of this might, stay the same. No, it's not going to stay the same. It's going to change. Trust me, it's going to change. When you start to implement policies like community policing, police force, private prisons, and other things, because you got to deal with prison overcrowding and antisocial behavior and alcohol abuse, those are going to change because some people are going to like it and some people are not going to like it. Okay? No changes yet. And this is the compass, which this here, I actually got into it at some point when you start implementing your policies. Let me just go ahead and turn this off. I didn't press the terms because this will tell you the terms. Like this is the terms here. So I'm going to turn this off. There's no need to see that. Voters are the green and it's supposed to be blue and red, but the green and red, right? You're going to turn that off. And then if you show the politicians, it shows you throughout like the real politicians in the world where they stand at. And the ones that we know in this country, such as like Bill Clinton and Donald Trump and George W. Bush and Barack Obama, right? They stand within either conservatives, socialists, liberals, or capitalists. And it'll give you, because right now, I'm like right in the cusp between the conservative and the capitalist. And if you look at the previous presidents, such as George W. Bush and Barack Obama and Bill Clinton and Donald Trump, it seems like Donald Trump, like right here, / conservative capitalism. Then you see George W. Bush, who is like conservative, not really inwards. It's like if he did like a little bit further down, he could be like neutralized within all of the parties. I guess they're parties, or I guess I don't know what you call them, but yeah, conservative, liberals, whatever. But look at Barack Obama. Barack Obama is literally on the cusp of conservative, capitalist, and socialist, and liberal, because the line comes down too. Now, guys, let me explain this to you. When you play this game, sometimes you can't please everybody. Okay? So my thing is this. You have to fake it till you make it. And then when you fake it till you make it, then we get to the table and then you get what you want, then you got to renege. Because sometimes you got to please the conservatives to get things for the capitalists to make it work for the liberals. You have to please the conservatives to get through the socialists to please the liberal. I am all about making it work for everyone. And if it can't work for everyone, we have to see where the money comes from. And wherever the money comes from, that's where we're going to be heading. If it's going to work for the people, if it's not going to work for people. I know that in this country, a lot of people are going to be dealing with transportation. They're going to be dealing with our highways. they're going to be dealing with, state funding for school and lunch and you name it. Just like how we have in real life situations, that's what we're going to be dealing with in this game. As much as we can possibly get, through these policies. I mean, military spending, healthcare subsidized, junk food, reforestation. That is where we are planting trees in the areas that need the trees or in areas that has been cut down. Import tariff, food standard agency, like things like that. Free school meals, compulsive school sports, target obesity and good health and longevity. We have what is called university grants. We have dealing with banning coal and agriculture subsidizing. Just it goes on and on and on, even to the top. Keep the country tidy. Giving new car subsidized to people. We want to be able to do all that, but again, we definitely have to turn our deficit into a surplus so we can get money and get out of debt and help people. All right? Is it possible? Yes. In the game. In real life? No. We are already in too debt, and I said that if it's possible that the country should file for bankruptcy and restart over again. We print our own money, so I don't know what's happening. Okay? But here in this game, in the United States of America, we're definitely going to make it happen. All right. So there's lots and lots of things that we can also look at. Now, if you look at certain things here, each category has a bubble. Now, on each bubble I explained to you, such as law and order, transportation, foreign policies, welfare, economy, taxes, each one of them has it has one. And these ministers represent them, right? Now, check this out, guys. If you come over here to like the patriots or the poor or the socialists or the environment, look how the spider web is like targeting back to them. That's cool, right? Now, what are we looking at, guys? We're looking at, the green is good, the bad is bad, the red is bad. Now, if you look at the farmers, everything good from biofuel subsidized to foreign aid received to urban density, food stamps, horticultural subsidized, that's helping the farmers. And you can see that their color is yellow. Now, at some point, they are either going to be mad at me or they're going to be for or against me. I don't know, because I'm going to be implementing services and I'm going to be taking away services. My predecessors left a shitload of, 7.6 trillion in debt. What was that 7.60 trillion in debt used on? Was it used for biofuel subsidized? Was it used for food stamps? Was it used for urban density? By the way, I will show you the mods that are in this game. So hopefully, I just really hope, there's some good mods, but I really hope that it does not crash. Okay. The red, they are not pleased or they need help. And then I'm going to show you in debt. But in this spider web, I'm going to show you here. And then I'm going to press on the farmers. And then we're going to show like what they really working with. Okay. What they really want and what they really don't want. So here, the game hunting restriction. That's something that they are having a problem with. The food standard agency. That's another problem. The petrol tax is a big problem. And the car tax is a problem. Now, when we press on them, right, here are the farmers. The farmers here says not just actual farmers, but also people in associated industries and rural communities. Priorities in rural voters often different from those in capital cities. And any taxes or more commonly subsidized, which we see that they got a lot of subsidized, that applies to agriculture will be a huge issue. A tendency to over-regulate food production will likely be unpopulated with this group. And you can see that they are mildly satisfied and they are highly trusted. However, we're going to look at certain things. Now, I can tell you this urban density, I think this is an app. I think this is a mod that I added into it. And we will see when we go to the policies which is a mod and which not. Okay? So the petrol tax, again, red is bad, green is good. Gaming, hunting restrictions, they're not feeling me on that. If you press on it, this is the minister that is overseeing this. And I can tell you that right now, the poor and the farmers and the tourists is not happy. It looks like it's costing us $16.76 million, and we're not receiving any income from it. I don't know if this is something that the predecessors put in. I don't know if this is something that's going to be good. We can see here efficiency 23%, but how effective is it? Okay? And what's costing, and then how long is it going to take before it is implemented into the policies. Okay? So, again, I don't know if this is good, but I do know that these guys, such as the farmers and the poor and the tourists, is not liking it. But the environmentalist is. Okay? See, that's what we say. Oh, I didn't say this before. We have to. Well, it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse before it gets better. Okay, I thought you guys heard that when I had implemented, when I said, we have to get rid of some of these policies before or order for something to change. Right? So, all right. So, again, I don't know if this is efficient, but right now we see that it's a problem. Food Standard Agency. Now, the Food Standard Agency is definitely something that the health, food price, and the plant-based diets is benefits, and also the liberal. But the farmers is not happy. They're not happy, and it's costing us $357.51 million. And again, the Food Standard Agency is a branch of government dedicated to ensure the safety and minimizing nutrition standards of food supplies within the country. Farmers may regret the agency as an extra layer of bureaucratic and meddling, but public health campaigning see the agency as an essential line of defense between the consumer and the unsculptured food products looking to cut costs. So the farmers are definitely going to be mad because what do farmers do? Farmers, they literally grow. And then you would think that they would be doing organic, like they would switch to organic, and everybody just choose not to because you have to pay more for it. The farmers definitely going to have to pay more for the soil or for the dirt or to like change certain things to make it better. So, but that's why you see that organic foods is higher in price than any other foods in the market. Plant-based foods. Now, plant-based foods are something that we try to entwine into our diet because that's what the animals survived off of. Not saying that we're animals, but however, if you was to eat like a plant-based diet, I will tell you, guarantee that the nutrition that comes from those things, you may not get as much because you need your protein and you ain't going to find protein in a plant. Okay? You may find a little tiny bit, but you need to get meat. But a plant-based diet is something that will definitely be helpful for certain people who are looking to like lose weight, feel great, tone up, so yeah, we're looking to all this. Okay. eat less meat or having meat-free days each week. So, yeah, so it's more like vegetarians. Vegetarians, like people who are eating like no meat. I think vegetarians eat no meat, and I think the pescatarians eat seafood, right? And then you got, yeah, the plant-based people. All right, so that's definitely something. And then also the car tax, that's something that we can't really uh, mess with because we need to get our money in from somewhere. And again, like I told you guys, that the motorists is, they're like members here. So they're going to be paying, I don't know, like, let's look at this.